Good evening, you're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, during the meeting of the Council of Ministers, thanks the citizens for their cooperation in making development programs and plans successful. His Excellency the Chairman of the Implementation and Support Unit performs the oath before His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. His Excellency the Australian Ambassador expresses that his government values the Sultan's efforts led by His Majesty the Sultan in finding a missing citizen in Yemen. And His Excellency the Minister of Housing stresses before the Shura Council that the housing support in the 9th five-year plan is 400 million Omani Riyals. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos presided over a meeting of the Council of Ministers at Beit al-Barakah. His Majesty congratulated the citizens, residents and the Islamic nation on the advent of the holy month of Ramadan, hoping that it will be a month of bounty and blessings for all. His Majesty expressed satisfaction with the achievements of the country's comprehensive development march, citing the efforts exerted by the government and the state's institutions with a view to maintaining the services rendered to citizens. His Majesty the Sultan thanked Omani citizens for their cooperation in making development program and plans a success, despite the unstable conditions being experienced by the world today. In particular, His Majesty gave directives to accord more attention to the youth, as well as tourism sector and other sectors of economic potential. His Majesty also underlined the importance of supporting efforts of project implementation and partnership with the private sector aimed at setting up new production projects that enhance sustainable development. His Majesty reaffirmed that the Sultanate will continue to support regional and international efforts aimed at rapprochement of views and reinforcement of understanding. At the end of the meeting, His Majesty the Sultan gave his directives to all state institutions to continue exerting efforts to achieve the desired goals. His Excellency Dr. Khamis bin Saif bin Hamoud Al Jabri, Chairman of the Implementation and Support Unit, performed the oath before His Majesty Sultan Qaboos at Beit al-Barakah. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Abdullah II Ibn al-Hussein, King of Jordan, on his country's 71st independence anniversary. His Majesty the Sultan has also sent a similar cable to His Excellency Mauricio Macri, President of Argentina, on his country's National Day. Upon the royal directives of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and in response to an appeal by the Australian government to search for its missing citizens in Yemen, the concerned authorities in the Sultanate coordinated with the Yemeni authorities, and the Australian citizen was found by tribal mediators, where he was transferred to the Sultanate in preparation for his return to his country. The Australian government valued the Sultanate's efforts led by His Majesty the Sultan in finding its missing citizen in Yemen and transferring him from Yemen to the Sultanate in preparation for his return to his country. His Excellency Dr. Rolf Kinch, Australia's non-resident ambassador to the Sultanate, stressed that these efforts reflect the noble humanitarian dimension carried out by the Sultanate in the region.
As you know, an Australian man was kidnapped last October, in Yemen. And since that time, many people, many authorities have been making great efforts to free him. And in this context, I would like to express, on behalf of the government of Australia and the family of this man, our great gratitude and high appreciation of the efforts and the kindness of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and of the authorities of Oman in helping to free this man and bring him to his liberty. As you now know, he has been brought into Oman and he is on his way home to his family. I think this is a wonderful proof of the generosity of His Majesty and also of the depth of relations between our two countries. For reasons of the privacy of this person and his family, I can't go into further details about this now.
Reviewing aspects of existing cooperation between the Sultanate, Italy and Brazil was the core of talks between His Highness Said Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for Relations, Affairs and International Cooperation, Special Representative of His Majesty and His Excellency Vigio Viciti, Italian's ambassador accredited to the Sultanate, and His Excellency Jose Marques Nogueira, Brazil's ambassador accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, they discussed means of supporting bilateral cooperation and developing them in various fields within the framework of good relations binding the Sultanate with Italy and Brazil. The Sultanate received investment offers of more than $4.5 billion for subscription in international sukuk, due to be discussed in the 10 days. The move reflects the international confidence and national economy and opportunities available in the local market. It came with support in the state's general budget and the Sultanate's development program. The return of this sukuk amounted to 4.5% for the duration of 7 years in its third issue of the Sultanate this year in the field of bonds and local and international sukuk. The local market also witnessed the issuance of local sukuk at the value of 2.5 million Omani Riyals as first phase, which will contribute to enhancing upcoming investment projects. $400 million Omani Riyals housing assistance in the 9th five-year development plan. This was stressed by His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Mohammed Al-Shabibi, Minister of Housing, when he was hosted by the Shura Council. He also pointed out that there are more than 397,000 applications for land plots on the waiting list. In turn, the Shura Council members raised some topics related to housing assistance, the slow in distribution of residential land plots and residential fees. His Excellency the Minister of Housing also said that the ministry does not interfere in the price increase of lands in the market, which is subject to supply and demand. He also pointed out that 89% of Omanis own their own houses. Still to come, our news bulletin. Initiative of Sahim for contribute of renewable energy enables subscribers to self-generating electricity using solar energy.
شكرا ماما على كل شيء تقدمينه لنا. لمستك تحلي أيامنا وتعطيها طعما جديدا. معك نتهنى بكل لحظة في رمضان. ماما أنت صرت كل شيء طيب.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. In an endeavor to the new alternatives to avoid dependency on oil as its main source of income, Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry organized a symposium on oil economies of Gulf Cooperation Council countries. It aimed to highlight the challenges of global oil price decline, its impact on the region, and ways to benefit from regional and international expertise and experiences in the field of economic diversification. The event focused on ways to enable the GCC private sectors to lead the wheel of economic development and reviewed the promising opportunities in non-oil sectors. The symposium was presided over by His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning. Royal Air Force of Oman held a ceremony this morning in Ghala Air Base and Sultan Qaboos Air Academy to mark the graduation of a new batch of recruits. The ceremony included a military slow infantry march and silent weapons acts and honoring the toppers. Major General Mathar bin Salim Al-Blushi, Commander of Royal Army of Oman, presided over the ceremony. Within the plans of the Military College of Technology to render the efficiency programs and its development, the training curriculum for its students, the college signed on-job training agreement with Oman Air. Under the agreement, the aviation engineering outposts of the college are trained on the work at Muscat International Airport as per international standards of maintenance approved by Oman Air, to gain scientific and training expertise and raise the efficiency of the training performance. Initiative of Sahim, or Contribute for Renewable Energy, integrated legislation of enabling subscribers to self-generating electricity. Owners of houses and companies are able to produce electricity and sell it for distribution networks, where the initiative will contribute to the prove millions of riyals to support the sector. The initiative will save more than 200 million Omani riyals for the government in the coming years and will limit depending on other traditional sources of energies such as gas and diesel. Small and medium-sized enterprises with the providers to the consumers and companies with a system of generating solar energy as a support for these institutions' businesses. The Authority of Electricity Regulatory put the organized frame of using solar energy through standards and specifications, in addition to determine technical requirements to connect this system with distribution network. Entering renewable energy to the Omani market will work on activating role of subscribers to support the national economy. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masood As-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. A ceremony was held to celebrate the inauguration of book and exhibition of Oman from the Sky of the author Sheikh Ahmed bin Sudan Al-Blushi. The book narrates an accurate documentation through photographs of the Renaissance of the Sultans, in addition to showcase a number of amazing photos which reflected beauty of Omani nature, which was broadcasted by the Sultanate of Oman television. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad bin Tariq Al Said. Revealing the opportunities of investment in the Governorate of South Batna and the challenges faced by the entrepreneurs topped the aspects of joint meeting of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry with members of the Municipal Council in the Governorate and female entrepreneurs. The meeting discussed also the role of the Municipal Council in alleviating the difficulties faced by the owners of businesses so as to ensure an attractive investment environment. On other news, footage released by the Syrian opposition purpose show heavy shelling in the city of Daraa, southern Syria, which had recently been declared as the safe zone under the Russian-sponsored deal. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 12 airstrikes and at least 9 barrel bombs hit rebel-held parts of Daraa amid intense clashes. Russia, Iran and Turkey agreed to establish the zones in Syria, signing on to a Russian plan under which the Syrian Air Force would halt flights over designated areas across the country. This week's clashes are among the worst violations of the de-escalation agreement. Soldiers from the British Army were visible providing additional security at the Houses of Parliament and the Prime Minister's official residence at Downing Street today. The deployment comes under the British government raised the national security threat level to critical following Monday's suicide bombing attack in Manchester. Home Secretary Amber Rudd said the bomber, identified as British-born Libyan Salman Abedi, likely did not act alone when he killed 22 people and wounded dozens at an Ariana Grande concert Monday night in Manchester. She said he had been known to security forces up to a point. Police said 3 men were arrested today in South Manchester, where a day earlier a 23-year-old man was also arrested and a number of homes were searched. Britain raised its threat level to critical after an emergency government meeting late yesterday amid concerns that the 22-year-old Abedi may have accomplices who are planning another attack. And now for the general forecast around the Salted. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Governorate of Dhofar, and the rest of the Salted will have clear skies. Winds will be south to southeasterly light to moderate, and seas will be slight to the maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Salted of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, during the meeting of the Council of Ministers, thanks the citizens for their cooperation in making development programs and plans successful. His Excellency, the Chairman of the Implementation and Support Unit, performs the oath before His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. His Excellency the Australian Ambassador expresses that his government values the Sultan's efforts led by His Majesty the Sultan in finding a missing citizen in Yemen. And His Excellency the Minister of Housing stresses before the Shura Council that the housing support in the 9th five-year plan is 400 million Omani Riyals. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom in the studios, it's good night.